The Jim and Terry Show coming to you from the Hobbit Hole Studio in Bob Cage, and I'm one of your hosts, Terry.
I'm the other guy, Jim.
And we're talking about Musk going too far and his apology, regretting tweets on X, his platform. He bought it. I think he bought it for his own political propaganda agenda, but he's sorry he tweeted some mean tweets about his buddy.
His king.
His king.
His king. And speaking of kings, this show was going to be about, and you can change it if you want, but it was going to be Trump's plan for insurrection.
Okay.
And I think it starts in L.A. I think we can
well,
see it.
Well, you always said there would be a civil war outburst in the United States, and you think it's beginning in L.A.
I do. Now, I'm not saying for sure, but listen to me out. First off, Trump wanted to distract from the big bull budget that he's putting together that's going to harm all kinds of people.
The big beautiful bill.
Yeah. He wants to distract take away from that. The other thing is he can't stand the governors. He can't stand any blue states. He just can't stand any of them because they didn't vote for him. And the majority of Californians, by a landslide, did not vote for him. 30%, I think, he lost by. So here's his plan. What you do is, number one, he was going to get rid of all the Hispanics that were bad, evil, and dark people. Can't find any, really. There's not really been, not even one paraded in front of anybody. So he said to the czar, I'm making this up, but this is what I believe has happened.
That's Tom Homan is the
Tom
czar.
Homan, look at that guy, said to him, go into the streets of L.A., get the most weak, most vulnerable. I don't care what they are. I don't even care if you scoop up Americans. Just grab as many as you can. And he went to the one textile place and got 46. We saw pictures of them chasing harvesters in the fields, factories, Home Depot, all those people. So what has happened is, knowing this, and this is in 1 square mile of L.A., just think about it, where very, very few people live. They just work. Mm-hmm. So now you've got children, mothers, grandfathers of people that have been abducted now by the American military or wherever. ICE. And they're now protesting in the streets in front of the detention center, which makes total sense to me. My daddy's in there. They weren't violent. They weren't nothing. But what Trump wanted to do is make it violent.
Escalate.
So how does he escalate? He brings in troops. The Home Guard, which is not under his jurisdiction. It's under the, legally, it's under the governor, is the only one that can do that. Mm-hmm. The federal can take over through the governor. They just bypassed him. Said, now we're sending you to the city. We pointed it out on one of our shows before. Now you have the LA police who can handle it totally. It was not violent. It wasn't an insurrection. It was family members really worried about what are you doing with my mommy and my daddy in that place. So now Trump sends 4,000 troops in there, where LA police said we can totally handle it. We've handled way worse than this. I mean, if one of our teams wins a cup or something, the place goes nuts and we burn down buildings. So this is nothing. Nobody's doing that. But Trump brings that in and says it's an insurrection. Mm-hmm. Out of complete bullshit. Sorry, a lie. A lie. Then he not only does that, he brings in the Marines, the Marines in, 700 of them in. And a comedian once said you got 3 Marines guarding 2 Homeland Security, guarding 2 policemen arresting a man with no arms, or something like that.
The absurdity of it.
But you see what he's doing. He's starting it, and he's causing the simplest of protests, insurrections. Because in his mind it is, you see. It's an insurrection against him.
Yeah.
Not
personal.
The nation.
It's just
against, it's just personal. Mm. And he'll bring the entire, listen to me, my cousins, your whole nation is doomed. Doomed. I promise you. You heard it from my mouth. Because everything that doesn't apply to him is an insurrection. And you're going to have military in every one of your cities waiting for the commander-in-chief to say, that's it, martial law. It's all mine.
So that's what you think is the next step, is the declaration of martial law.
Well, what happens is then you get a place like Los Angeles that knows, California, quite frankly, that knows Trump don't like them. And he's already, we talked in the previous show, how now the fields are empty of workers. Who's going to harvest that, Terry? Do you think Tom Hanks is going to go out and harvest that? I don't think so. I think Tom Hanks really appreciates the people who are harvesting that. You know what I mean?
Just a reminder that Tom Hanks and other Hollywood elites were claimed by the GOP and by people on the far right to be too busy drinking children's blood.
Oh, for God's sakes, I know. But the lies go on and on and on. So we talked about it before, how LA may decide that it wants to separate from the rest of the union simply for economic reasons. And I pointed out again that the majority of people who live in California, or at least in LA, are Hispanic. Mm-hmm. They're Hispanic.
Now, if they don't get the workers back in the fields, those crops will rot.
They'll rot. And
so
the economy,
there will be a major shortage.
Yes, and so people will go hungry in the United States. Prices will go unbelievably high. He's ruining the United States economy, and he's ruining California because he wants California to be ruined.
Now, why does he want California to be ruined when they contribute to the United States of America?
He can't think past his own ego. They didn't vote for him. And next time, you better bloody well vote for me, says the great Trump, or it's going to happen again. So the next election, either you vote for me or you're my enemy. You've got a dictator in office right now. And his suck-ups, I'm disgusted with them, are all there sucking up to the king. You got a king, United States. You got a king. Look at your king. It's Donald Trump, full of faults. Full of faults.
Really does look like the Hunger Games played out in real life. The Hunger Games being the President Snow is Donald Trump. He's an autocrat. He has total control. He manipulates the Hunger Games to make the states compete against each other.
You got it, Terry.
It's exactly what it is.
You've got it. So that's what's happening. Mark my words.
So there you go. The Hunger Games. Is it a movie? Is it a series of books? Or is it real life unfolding in front of your eyes? In which case, we've used the word powerless in a previous episode. It's the powerlessness that is going to create the heaviness that leads to nothing? Or is that going to motivate people to take to the streets like we see costumed Hispanics dancing in the streets, trying to show that they're not violent? There is violence going on, and people's shops are being raided, and there is graffiti.
You have the anarchists. They're always everywhere.
And they were in Toronto at the
they're
G20.
Evil. Yep.
Yes. So, yes, they are opportunists who will take advantage of this.
They're paid to do it.
That's why it's so important to make sure that we are not violent.
This is why I like what our good prime minister at this particular time in my mind,
Mark
Carney, I like what he's done. He's invited the president of India and I believe of Sudan or Saudi Arabia or someplace to join the G7 meetings.
To be spectators in the meeting.
Guests.
Yeah.
Guests. Now, what I like about that, and other people I know they're going to be, look what he's doing. He's doing a brilliant thing. Number one, I wish the Saudi guy had accepted. I think it's only India's accepted. But good, because we need to break away from the United States.
Which means we need
countries. We need trade with these countries. Yeah. So come on over and take a look at what's going on and what's happening. It also might quell down the president from being his clowny self.
To see that Canada has taken a lead.
Yeah. I like what he's done there. So far, I like it. I think he has sober thoughts like crazy.
Oh, I tend to agree. I am not sure about the Modi thing. I do, he did order a terrorist strike in Vancouver against a Sikh member who he claimed was part of a separatist.
Well, is that the other guy that
group.
Was invited? Is it him?
Modi is the Indian fellow. I don't know who the second fellow is that you're referring to.
Yeah, I understand that.
You're talking about MSB, Mohammed bin Salman from Saudi Arabia?
I have no idea. I just...
Well, he was the one who hacked up the Washington Post reporter.
I think the idea is they can observe and maybe through back channels even all the nations, G7, will be able to talk to these guys about trade. And
I think you're right.
it might
Trade is the way forward.
And I think it might be Carney's way to say to the President of the United States,
we don't need you.
we're planning other things, my friend.
We're moving on.
We're moving on. Because Carney said it, and I agree with him. We're done.
Yeah,
Says it's over.
That's what he said when the 51st state stuff
Yeah,
started.
he says it's
done.
over.
The old relationship is over.
Yeah, you betrayed us.
You betrayed us. There you go. The knife in the back. Everything Trump touches dies. The Jim and Terry Show seems to be a refrain that we come back to time and time again. Bye-bye for now.
I don't wanna carry this load no more. I don't wanna carry this load. Though the sweat of my brow and the toil of my hands has got me so far into this promised land.